Om Gyana Timiranda Sya Gena Gena Shalakaya Chakshulita Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapit Mena Bhutale Sarvabhaka Damahyam Dati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shcha Shri Rupam Sagaratam Sagna Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sadhivam Shri Radha Krishna Padasagana Olita Shri Vishakam Vitam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishapanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupascha Kripasant Gopevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. As I always say, if I try to say something on Vedic literature or Vedic poetry or comments on Vedic literature and Vedic poetry, as you all know, as you all know, I'm not qualified on such topics, and in this way, if I try to say something, I'm not trying to instruct anybody. Just for myself, I'm trying to understand these things. Of course, one have to understand those topics, Vedic literature and Vedic poetry, under the guidance of teachers, under the guidance of Diksha Guru and Shiksha Gurus. And yes, I pay obeisances to all of you who are watching this video, and those who are Vaishnavas, who are devotees in Raganuga Bhakti, and especially those in Rupanuga Bhakti. You are all my gurus. Dandavat Pranam to you. Vanchakalpatarupascha Kripasant Kupevacha Patitnam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktisiddhānta Swamiti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktisiddhānta Swamiti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Deshatarine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrnda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrnda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, because it's very late, so no, it's not very late, but it's a little bit late. So after a short time, it will be not possible to sing. It After a short time, I will have to sing very very quietly because it's a little bit late. So that's why I will try to sing at the beginning now those songs who one sings in the Kartika month. Of course, Kartika month exactly seen has not begun yet. It begins on Saturday, on the 28th of October, but I will try these days already to begin to sing those songs which one sings on Kartika. Just a moment, I again have to find them. Just a moment. So those songs are Shinanda Nandanastakam, Shitamudarastakam, and Shri Radha Kripa Gataksha Stava Raja. Moni. So sorry. I will begin with Shri Radha Kripa Kataksha Stava Raja, spoken by Lord Shiva in the Urdhvamnaya Tantra. Monindra Vrinda Vandita Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna vaktra pankaje nikunja bhuvilasine Vrajendra banu nandine Vrajendra sunu sangade Kadakari shashihamam Kripakataksha bhajana Ashoka vrikshavari Vitana mandapastite Pravala Prabhapurangri Komare Parabhaya Spuratkare Prabhuta Sampadalaye Kadakari Shashihamam Kripakataksha Bhajana Amangaranga Mangala Prasanga Bangura Bruvam Savipramam Sasabramam Tritantabhanapatane Nirantaram Vashikrita Pratitinandanandane Kadakari Shashihamam Kripakataksha Bhajana. These are the shlokas, the verses from 1 to 3. I will read the translation. The translation is from the song Shri Gaudiya Giti Gucha songbook, from the songbook Shri Gaudiya Giti Gucha. So, O Srimati Radhika, who are glorified, who are glorified by great sages, O you who dispel the lamentation of the three worlds, whose lotus face blossoms with a humorous smile, and who sports in the kunjas, O beloved daughter of King Vrishabhanu, O most near and dear to the son of the king of Vraj, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? When will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? Kada karisha shihamam kripa kataksha bhajanam. When will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? Most of the verses of Sri Radha Kripa Kataksha Stava Raja end with this sentence, and the last two not, but the other ones, almost all the verses end with this beautiful sentence. So shloka 2, verse 2. O you who are present in a pavilion made of creepers that are entwined around ashoka trees, whose beautiful tender reddish feet have the luster of coral and newly sprouting reddish leaves, and whose raised hand grants benedictions and fearlessness. O abode of infinite opulence, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? Kada karisha shihamam kripa kataksha bhajanam. Shloka 3, verse 3. O you who, on the stage of amorous sports, in the course of an auspicious discussion, express amazement by curving your eyebrows like bows, and then suddenly firing the arrows of your sidelong glances, piercing the son of Sri Nanda with amorous delusion, and bringing him under your perpetual control. When will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? Kada karisha shihamam kripa kataksha bhajanam. So, verses 4 to 6. Verses 4, 5, and 6. Tadit Suvarna Kampaka Pradipta Gora Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Parasta Koti Sharadendu chitra sancharak chakora shavelochane kada karisha shihamam kripa kataksha bhajanam kada karisha shihamam kripa kataksha bhajanam kada karisha shihamam kripa kataksha bhajanam Mano Malatiyovane Pramodamana Mandite Priyanuragaranjite Kalavilasa Pandite Amanyadanya Kunyaraya Kamakirikovid Kadakarisha Shihama Kripakataksha Bhajanam Ashisha Havabhavadi Hira Hara Bhushite Rapuda Shata Kumbha Kumbha Kumbi Kumbha Sustane Prashasta Manda Hasya Churna Purna Saukya Sagare Kadakarisha Shihama Kripakataksha Bhajanam Kadakarisha Shihamam Kripakataksha Bhajanam Kadakarisha Shihamam Kripakataksha Bhajanam. Verse 4, Shloka 4. O you whose radiant and fair form resembles lightning, gold and champaka flowers, whose lotus face defeats the splendor of the effulgence of millions of autumnal moons, and whose eyes, restless like those of a young chakora bird, make various astonishing expressions, and each moment, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you who are intoxicated by your youthfulness, who are decorated with delightful ornament of silky anger, who reveals in your lover's attachment to you, who reveals in your lover's attachment to you, nay, who revels in your lover's attachment to you, and who are supremely proficient in the art of loving affairs, O you who are the most learned in knowledge of loving sports, within the realm of your confidential, auspicious forest groves. When will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you who are decorated with the ornaments of Anubhava, such as Hava and Bhava, and the diamond necklace of gentleness and gravity, whose breasts are like water pots made of pure gold, and which resemble the twin mounts on the head of elephant, O you whose glorious gentle smile is like an ocean full of bliss, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? Verses 7, 8, and 9. Mrinala vela, sorry. Mrinala vela, taranga dolate, latagrelesya lola nila, lochana velokane, la 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 milan manog, moge mohana shrite, kadakarisha shivam, kripa kataksha bhajana. Suvarna malikam chita trireka kambo kantage trisutra mangaliguna triratna diti diti salanila kuntala prasuna gocha gumvita kadatarisha shihamam kripakataksha bhajana. Nitamba bimbalamba pushpa mekalagune prashastaratna king
Kini Kalapa Madhya Manjule Karindra Shunda Dandika Varoha Savagaruke Kadakari Shashivama Ripakataksha Bhajana Kadakari Shashivama Ripakataksha Bhajana Kadakari Shashivama Ripakataksha Bhajana.
So, verse 7, 8, and 9. O you whose arms are like the tender stems of a lotus swaying in the water's waves, whose glance from blue eyes resembles the tips of creepers dancing in the breeze, who allure Madana Mohana to follow you, and upon meeting him steal away his mind and give him shelter in his state of enchantment. When will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? O you whose neck is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell and is adorned with golden necklaces and an auspicious sutra glowing with 3 kinds of brilliant gems. O you whose bluish black tresses, interwoven in a braid with clusters of flower blossoms, sway to and fro, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? There was a note here. A Mangala Trisutra is a special necklace worn by married girls for auspiciousness. Okay, and now verse 9. O you from whose rounded hips hangs a wreath of excellent flowers, on whose charming slender waist a sublime belt of tiny bejeweled bells sweetly rings, and whose beautiful feet taper like the sloping trunk of the king of elephants. When will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? Now verses shlokas 10, 11, and 12.
Aneka mantra nadavanj no puraravaskalat samachara hamsa hamsa nikvanati guru vilala hemavalari vidampi charu sakrame kadakari shashihama ripakataksha bhajana Ananta Koti Vishnu Lok Namre Padma Charsite Himadrija Pulomaja Virinka Javara Prade Apara Siddhi Sat Padangulinake Kadakari Shashihama Kripa Kataksha Bhajana Makeshwari Kriyeshwari, Svadeshwari, Sureshwari, Triveda Bharatishwari, Pramana Shasaneshwari, Rameshwari, Ksameshwari, Pramoda Kananeshwari, Vrajeshwari, Vrajadipe, Shiradike Namostute. Vrajeshwari Vrajadipe Shiradike Namostute Vrajeshwari Vrajadipe Shiradike Namostute.
and verse 13. This is the last one.
Iti mamadbhutam stavam nishamya bhanu nandini karotu santatam janam kripakataksha bhajanam bhavita deva sanchita trirupa karma nashanam bhavita devrajendra sun mandala praveshanam Vrajendra Sun Mandala Prashanam Pavita Vrajendra Sun Mandala Praveshanam.
So now I will read the translation of verses 10, 11, 12, and 13. Shloka 10. O you whose ankle bells, sweetly resounding with a host of Vedic mantras, resemble the warbling of a flock of royal swans, and whose beautiful gait mocks the movements of a swaying golden creeper, will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? Verse 11. Shloka 11. O you who are worshipped by Lakshmi Devi, the mistress of unlimited Vaikuntha planets, and who bestows benedictions upon Shri Parvati, Indrani, and Sarasvati, even one of the nails of your lotus feet gives rise to an infinite variety of spiritual perfections. Oh, from Oh, when will you make me the recipient of your merciful sidelong glance? Verse 12. O mistress of all kinds of sacrifices, of all activities, of the mantras uttered during yajna, of all the gods, of the teachings of the three Vedas, of the enforcement of all scriptural principles, of the goddess of fortune, of forgiveness, and of the delightful forest of Vrindavana, O mistress and empress of Vraj, O Srimati Radhika, I offer my pranama unto you. Verse 13. Shloka 13. O daughter of Rishabhanu, upon hearing this wonderful prayer, please make me qualified to perpetually receive your merciful sidelong glance. By your mercy, my three types of karma will be destroyed, and at that moment I will enter the circle of the son of the king of Raj and his dearmost Sakis. There is a note. The three types of karma. Here is a note about these three types of karma. Accumulated reactions, fructifying reactions, and reactions from current activities. Those are these three types of karma. Okay. Now let us see the next song which we sing, the devotees we sing during the Kartika month is Sri Nandanastakam. Of course, some devotees they sing only the Mudarastakam, and some devotees sing those three songs. Okay, Sri Nandanastakam, an ancient prayer by an unknown Vaishnava author.
Suchari Vaktramandalam Sukharnaratna Kundalam Sucharchitanga Chandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Sudhi Netra Pankajam Sikhi Sikhanda Murtajam Ananga Koti Nandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Sunasika Gramatikam, Svachandadantapamtikam, Navabudangachikana, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Karena Venoranjita, Gati Karindra Ganjitam, Dukula Pita Shobhanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Tribhangadeha Sundaram, Nakadyuti Sudakaram, Amulya Ratna Bhushanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Sugandhanga Saurabham, Urovirajikastubam, Spurat Srivatsalanjanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam, Namami Nandanandanam.
These were the verses from 1 to 6, the shlokas from 1 to 6, and now also 8, 8, and now also 7, 8, and 9, and then I will read the translation of the whole song.
Vrindavana Sunagara Vilasanugavasasam Surendra Garva Mochanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Prajangana Sunayakam Sada Sukha Pradayakam Jaganmana Pralovanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Śrīla Nandanastakam Patitya Shraddhayanvita Tarit Bhavatim Dustaram Labhatadangrihukmakam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam.
Now I will read the translation of the whole song. So, shloka 1 to 6. The shlokas, the verses from 1 to 6. No, well, first, okay. Shloka 1, verse 1. His round face is so lovely. His beautiful ears are adorned with hanging jeweled earrings, and his body is nicely anointed with fragrant sandalwood paste. I offer pranama to the Sri Nandanandana. His eyes are elongated like lotuses, peacock feathers adorn his head, and he enchants millions of cupids. I offer pranama to that Sri Nanda Nandana. Of course, this means to that Sri Krishna, because Nanda Nandana, that means the son of Maharaja Nanda. So this is actually, I offer my pranama, I offer my prayers. Yes, I offer my pranama to that Sri Krishna, means uh, this sentence. Shloka 3, verse 3. From the tip of his beautiful nose hangs an elephant pearl. His rows of teeth shine naturally like pearls, and his bodily complexion shines like a fresh rain cloud. I offer pranama to that Sri Nanda Nandana. Verse 4. His hands are adorned with a flute. His majestic gait excels that of the king of elephants, and he is beautified by fine yellow garments. I offer pranama to that Sri Nanda Nandana. His threefold bending form, this is verse 5 now. His threefold bending form is most beautiful. His nails glow like the moon, and he is adorned by priceless gems. I offer pranama to that Sri Nanda Nandana. Verse 6, Shloka 6. His body exudes the extraordinarily enchanting fragrance, and upon his broad chest the Kaustuba gem shines. Along with the mark of Srivatsa, I offer pranama to that Sri Nanda Nandana. He is Vrindavana's expert paramour, who dresses in a manner to enhance his charming, playful pastimes, and who liberates Indra from his pride. I offer pranama to that Sri Nanda Nandana. The exquisite lover of the damsels of Raj always bestows happiness upon all living entities and enchants their mind. I offer pranama to that Sri Nanda Nandana. Whatever with the, now this was verse 8 and now verse 9. Whatever with faith, whoever with faith recites these 8 verses. Whoever with faith recites these 8 verses, glorifying the son of Nanda, will easily conquer the insurmountable ocean of material existence and attain shelter at his 2 lotus feet. Jai. Beautiful. Now, the next song is Sri Damodarastakam. It has such a beautiful melody, but I don't have the right to sing it with the other melodies. I will try to find some other melody. Yes, okay. So this is Sri Damodarastaka spoken by Satyavrata Muni.
Namami Swaram Satchinandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabiyam Kala Devamanam Paramristamadhyam Tatudrutyagat
Rudanta Muhurnetra
Yugmamrejantam Karamboja Yugmanam
Satam Kanetra Muhusvasakampa
Rikam Kakamta Sitagravadamodaram
Bhakti Badam. So this was These were the first two verses. I worship the Supreme Controller, whose form is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Upon his cheeks, Makara-shaped earrings are swinging, and he shines most brilliantly in Gokula, running away from the grinding mortar in great fear of Mother Yashoda. He was ultimately caught from behind. Verse 2. Weeping incessantly, he rubs his eyes with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear. He takes heavy breaths again and again that cause the pearls and the other ornaments around his neck, which is marked by three gracefully curving lines, to tremble. I offer pranama to the Damodara, who is bound by his mother's Vatsalya Bhakti. Verses 3 and 4.
Titrик свалила.
Sorry.
И Titrик свалила Pirunanda Kunda Svagosam Nimajantamakya Payanto Tateshitagnesho Bhakti Jitatva Puna Pramatastam Satavritivanda Varam Deva Mokshana Mokshavadeva Nachan Vrineham Vaneshadapi Itam Deva Purnata Gopala Balam Sautame Manasa Virastam Kimana.
Verses 3 and 4. Through pastimes such as these, he drowns the residents of Gokula in pools of bliss, thereby informing people who are aware of his godhood that he can only be conquered by his devotees hundreds of times. I again offer loving obeisance to him. O Deva, I do not ask for liberation from this world, nor the highest liberation of residence in Vaikuntha, nor do I seek any other benediction from you, the Supreme Benefactor. O Nata, may this form of yours, as Balagopala, a little cowherd boy in Vrindavana, forever remain visible in my heart. What is the use of any other benediction? So here's a note. Nachanyam, others also, can refer either to the benediction of performing the 9 limbs of bhakti or to achieving any other worthy attainment. Yes, because he says here in the verse 4, nor do I seek any other benediction from you, the Supreme Benefactor. And the note is, Na Chanyam, others also, can refer either to the benediction of performing the 9 limbs of bhakti or to achieving any other worthy attainment. So, okay, verse 5 and 6.
Itam te mukham pojam bhavyaktanilahi vritam kuntailasnida rasta chakopi mukhus kumbitam bimbaraktatarame manasya virasta alam lakshalava. Namo Devadevadananta Vishnu Prasida Prabhupada Jalabhimagni Kripadrasti Vrastyati Dinavadanu Grihanisha Mamagya Medyakshadrisya.
Verses 5 and 6. Your lotus-like face, encircled by soft blackish blue curly locks of hair that have a reddish glow, is repeatedly kissed by the gopi Shri Yashoda. May your lotus face with lips like red bimba fruit always remain manifested in my heart. I do not care about millions of other attainments. Verse 6, Shloka 6. O Deva, O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, obeisance unto you. O Prabhu, be pleased with me. I am drowning in an ocean of miseries. Alas, I am most afflicted and do not know what to do. O Isha, shower me with your merciful glance and kindly uplift me by becoming directly visible to my eyes. Verses 7 and 8. Oh, I guess the 8 is the last one, or? Yes. These are the last two verses.
Kuvarakmajabhadamudavaya Tvayamocita bhakti bhajau krita Tatta prema bhakti swakame prayacha Namo shri homestik damodare Namaste Sudam Nespuratidam Netvate Adurayat Vishvasyadam Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nanta Lilaya Devayata Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So verses 7 and 8. Just as you freed the two sons of Kuvera, even while bound around the belly, and made them recipients of devotion, similarly, please bestow upon me profuse Prema Bhakti to you in your form as a little cowherd boy. O Damodara, I long for this alone. I do not want any other kind of liberation. Verse 8. O Damodara, I offer pranama to the rope binding your belly, for it is an abode of brilliant effulgence. I offer pranama to your belly, which is the mainstay of the entire universe. I offer pranama again and again to Srimati Radhika, your most beloved, and I offer pranama to you, my divine Lord, who perform unlimited transcendental pastimes. Jai. Very beautiful songs, very beautiful poetry. Now I will try to again read from the books, which I try to read every time. The books from this wonderful Vaishnavas. Jai Gaudiya Darsana, Jai Prema Prayojana Prabhu, Jai His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākur Prabhupāda. Jai Śrīla Narayana Maharaj, who is the guru of Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu. I must see where I was just a moment. Okay. Now I have reached the paragraph Deliberation on the Shaiva Theory. As you all know, this book is from a lecture of His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda, the Diksha Guru of His Divine Grace Abhayacharana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda. And this book is translation of this lecture and commentaries on the lecture. This book from Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu is translation in English into English and commentaries on the lecture of His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda. So, I have reached the paragraph Deliberation on the Shaiva Theory. All the analyses found in the commentaries propounding Shaiva Advaitavada, Shaiva Dvaitavada, and Shaiva Vishishtadvaitavada have been refuted by sound philosophical considerations. Sri Gaurasundar has said, Brahma Shabde Mukhya Arte Kahe Bhagavan. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 7:111. The primary meaning of the word Brahma is Bhagavan. Among the errant philosophers, the impersonal featureless conception of God has sprouted in various forms. The fragmented perspective of Sakara Nirakara, reality with and without form, among this class of people is all included within the category of Manodharma, mental speculation. Nakulisha Pashupata worshippers of Shiva say that Mahadeva is the Supreme Lord, and the Jivas are Pashu. The Nakulisha Pashupata theory has tried to establish the impersonal conception in opposition to the Siddhanta of Madhva. The speculative theory of Nakulisha Pashupata says the notion that liberation is the attainment of servitude to Bhagavan, explained by Sri Madhvacharya, is empty eulogy because if a liberated person is bound in the chains of subordination in the form of servitude, then how can this be called liberation? Since Nakulisha Pashupatas cannot comprehend the liberated soul's servitude to Bhagavan. They say, a person bound by um, shackles, a person bound by shackles made of priceless jewels, rubies, and pearls, is still understood to be bound, just like calling a blind person Kamalada Lochana, one whose eyes are like lotus petals. Calling a person bound in servitude to Bhagavan, liberated, is extremely opposed to reason and ridiculous. Ridiculous. However, exposing the falsehood of this speculative knowledge, Gaudiya Darsana replies,
Muktirudvanyatarupa svarupena vyavastitihi Muktirudvanyatarupa svarupena vyavastitihi.
Srimad Bhagavatam 2.10.6. When the living entity who was inflicted with anarthas realizes his own eternal nature as the servant of Sri Krishna, then, becoming eternally attached to his eternal Dharma in the form of servitude to Bhagavan, he attains the Prema Dharma of the absolutely liberated souls. This is the ultimate limit of independence, Swadhinata, being bound with Sri Krishna is not the bondage of the insignificant so-called independence in the perishable worldly realm of Maya, or the servitude of satiating the senses in the form of the false liberation of the Nirvishesha Vadis. Only servitude to the independent Supreme Person is the most complete form of independence, and only that servitude completely tears asunder all worthless insignificance. Even the topmost liberated person continually hanker for this state of captivity. In the Chandogya Upanishad, of the Sama Veda, it is said,
Sayata Shakune Sutrana Prapato Disham Disha Patitvanya Trayatanam Alofa Pandanam Eva Pashrayata Eva Mevakasa Tanmanudesham Desham Pati Tvanatrayata Namo Latva Pranam Eva Pashrayati Prana Bandana Somya Manaiti.
682. Chandogya Upanishad of the Samaveda. Verse 682. Translation. Just as a vulture tethered by a thread repeatedly tries to fly away in one direction after another. However, he cannot find shelter anywhere else. So in the end he accepts his bondage. Similarly, a person impelled by Manodharma investigates various ways to become free from Manodharma. How many endeavors? Now this is further the lecture. This was the translation, and now comes the lecture, how it is written further. How many endeavors he makes for the sake of liberation. Some think that independence entails the acquisition of insignificant worldly pleasures. Some think that independence will only be attained after some time when they achieve political sovereignty in this world. Some think that independence entails achieving the happiness of Svarga. Some think that independence is attained only on becoming one with Brahman. In this way, people are continually endeavoring for Jada Boga Maya, Svadhinata, independence based on the conception of material enjoyment. That is, independence from desires rooted in different kinds of bondage. When people who are continually endeavoring for Jada Maya meant Jada Boga Maya. Jada Boga Maya, okay. When people who are continually endeavoring for Jada Boga Maya, Svadhinata, become quiet and exhausted. When they understand there is no independence or shelter to be found anywhere, then they take shelter of the prana of all pranas. They take shelter of the lotus feet of the independent Supreme Person among all the most independent persons, and they understand that only eternal bondage to those lotus feet, Prema Bandhana, the bondage of love, is the ultimate limit of Svadhinata, independence. Sri Gaurasundara has instructed us.
Agihaya Mukti Tava Sarva Bandhanasha Tabase Haite Parishi Krishna Radhasa.
Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata 2:17-106. Only after attaining the condition of Prema for Bhagavan does one become a mukta or liberated soul, and all his worldly bonds are opened. Only when one is liberated does he become the servant of Sri Krishna. Sri Vishnu Swami Pada has stated in his Sarvajña Sukta that service to Bhagavan is rendered only by Mukta Purushas, liberated persons. Mukta api lilaya vigraham kritva Bhagavantam bhajante. Even liberated persons accept a form for the sake of pastimes and render service to Bhagavan. Sriman Mahaprabhu has spoken about the service of Bhagavan rendered by liberated souls in his explanation of the Atmarama verse. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10.
Atmaramascha munayo nigranta apyurukrame kurvante ahanikim bhakti itam bhutta guno hari.
Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. Oh, so no, the translation is not there. So I will read the translation from. I'll read the translation from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then I will continue the next time with the further lecture, with the further text. Yes, because yes, yes. I will read now the translation of 1.7.10, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10, and then I will continue to read the text of this lecture the next time. Okay. Let us see how is the translation of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. Okay, let's see. Sutta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. Okay, now I will continue with that book the next time. Jai Gaudiya Darsana, Jai Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu, Jai Śrīla Narayana Maharaj, Jai His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda. Now, I'll again read from the Gayatri book of His Holiness Sachinanda Swami. Jai His Holiness Sachinanda Swami. Jai His Divine Grace Abhijana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda, his Diksha Guru. So I have reached here the part with the title How to Chant. How to chant the Gayatri mantras. The word japa comes from the verb jap, to utter or whisper. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that of sacrifices he, Krishna, his japa. Okay, now there's again a note number 13. Bhagavad Gita 10:25. Okay. Śrīla Sanatana Goswami describes japa in the following words. Japa yagya is of three kinds, stated in the Nrsimha Purana. Vachika, verbal. Upansu, whispered. Manasika, within the mind. Each method is successfully better than the previous one. This is note 14 here. Now it is some note 14 about the text which I will read now. Note 14, this is Hari Bhakta Vilasa 17, 155 and 159. So, but here this japa is of course for the chanting of the Gayatri mantras. It is not for the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is actually if one chants loudly, and Vachika or Upansu, then it is powerful actually. But here it is said about the Gayatri mantras. So the Gayatri mantras obviously should be said within the mind, the Gayatri mantras, Manasika. But the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we have to chant, actually, we have to say it really with the mouth. Yes. Okay, let's see here what is written. So this is a citation from Hari Bhakta Vilasa about the Gayatri mantras, how one have to chant the Gayatri mantras. Each method is successfully better than the previous one when a mantra is pronounced distinctly, either in a high, low, or resonant voice. It is known as Vachika Japa when a mantra is uttered slowly with a slight movement of the lips and can be heard only by one's own ears. It is known as Upansu Japa when one meditates on the meaning of the mantra by applying the intelligence, going repeatedly from one syllable to the next, from one word to the next, it is known as Manasika Japa, according to the sage Yajnavalkya. Upangsu Japa is 100 times superior to Vachika Japa, and Manasika Japa is 1000 times superior to Vachika Japa. This is because Manasika Japa is equivalent to dhyana or deep meditation. But again, this is about the Gayatri mantras which have to be said in the mind, not when we say the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra we have to actually really say in the ways Vachika and Upangsu, verbal and whispered. Yes, okay. Now let's see what is written further. Now the citation now is ended. Citation from Hari Bhakti Vilas is ended now, and now we continue with the text further. How then should we chant? Since Manasika Japa is considered superior to Vachika and to Panso, should we chant our Gayatri mantras only in the mind? Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākur seems to support this idea in his explanation of the nature of mantras. Now there is a citation 15, just a moment, 15. Brahma Samhita 5.3, purport to that verse. Okay. A mantra is an inaudibly recited, liberating, self-dedicatory, transcendental sound. And now again there is a citation, and there's note number 16, letter to Upendra, 24th of January 1969. Letter most probably from His Divine Grace Abhijana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda. Inaudibly recited means chanted in the mind. Are we meant to chant Gayatri mentally? Ideally, yes. We have to consider, however, that nowadays only those with purified and peaceful minds can maintain concentration on the manasika or mental recitation of mantras. The atmosphere in which we live is highly disturbed, and our internal atmosphere is often shaken by outside influences. This Srila Prabhupada instructed, Srila Prabhupada, he means, here Srila Prabhupada, he means, this Srila Prabhupada instructed, but this text is written from His Divine Grace by Jahnava Vrnda Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So with Srila Prabhupada, he means His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākur Prabhupada, his own Diksha Guru. Instructed us to whisper the mantras instead. As he wrote in a letter to one disciple, the Gayatri mantra is not to be said loudly. Gayatri means to sing, but singing can be done loudly or very softly. The Gayatri mantra should be sung in a low, whispering voice. Well, they have to be said mentally, actually. Mentally. Manasika. within the mind. The Gayatri mantras should be said within the mind as um, we hear. Yes. So, to another disciple, he wrote, I am so glad to learn that both of you are now chanting 60 rounds or more regularly and murmuring the Gayatri mantras regularly. Please continue this habit without fail. 17. Letter to Gargamuni, 23rd of August 1970. The following quote, in which Śrīla Prabhupāda, His Divine Grace the Bhaktisiddhānta Vrnda, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda, refers to the Gopala Gayatri mantra, underlines the same point. There is no difference between meditating and chanting, but in the present age, meditation is not possible on this planet. Therefore, loud chanting of a mantra like the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna with soft chanting of the Ashtadashakshara, the mantra of 18 syllables, is recommended. Okay, 18. Читам Lila 5 221 purport. Srila Prabhupada seemed to himself prefer to whisper the mantra softly after bathing, dressing, and applying tilaka. Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Abhaya Vrnda Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada, would silently recite the Gayatri mantras, silently, so in the mind, holding his Brahmana thread and looping it around his right thumb. He would sit erect, silently moving his lips. Prabhupada Lilamrita, chapter 19, planting the seed. But actually they have to be said without moving the lips, just in the mind. Himself, His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhānta Vrnda Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada says this himself. Ideally, we have to chant the Gayatri mentally. Srila Prabhupada says this himself. His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada says this himself. We read this, I read this, we heard this some minutes ago. Yes. It was written in one of the letters. Yes, okay. Now I continue to read the text. I think it is important to pay attention to this point. We will derive little benefit from mentally reciting the sacred Gayatri mantras without consciously meditating on them. From the example of the acharyas as well as from the experiences of many practitioners, we can conclude that nowadays it is easier to be fully attentive while whispering the mantras. The point is to be concentrated. Let us try to chant Gayatri Japa with an awakened heart, with loving emotions. There are two ways to practice Upansu Japa. One is to move the lips while remaining silent, and the second is to murmur or make a whispering sound. We can use either of these ways according to our preferences. There may there may indeed be rare situations in which we are perfectly concentrated and peaceful and may prefer to chant mentally, but for most of us such times will be the exception. So we see again, he says um, that actually uh, the ideal case is to chant the Gayatri mantras mentally, as His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada also says. When Śrīla Prabhupada was in Australia, William, a professional film producer, had the opportunity to film him while chanting his Gayatri mantras. Kurma Prabhu, the author of the great transcendental adventure, describes this instructive scene. Citation. Note number 20. Taken from the Great Transcendental Adventure. From that book. It is taken. William zoomed in close, just as Prabhupada, facing the picture of his spiritual master, began silently reciting the Gayatri mantras. William captured on film Prabhupada's methodical, aristocratic, yet delicate movements, holding his sacred Brahmana thread and looping it around his right thumb. He sat erect, looking slightly downwards, moving his lips a little. But it is written silently. He was not quietly reciting his mantras, he was reciting them silently. Uh, Silence means silence, and no any sound. And His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda, as mentioned in the citation here in the previous page, says himself that ideally we have to chant Gayatri mentally. Yes, okay. So, further, it is written about the counting the mantras. Each line of the Gayatri mantras must be chanted 10 times. This is the direction of Srila Prabhupada. Other Vaishnavas, including some Gaudiya Vaishnavas, chant each mantra 20 times or more. In South India, some Brahmanas mainly chant the Gayatri mantras and only rarely chant the Maha Mantra. Therefore, they chant each mantra 1008 or even more times. As Srila Prabhupada's disciples and followers, of course, we follow his bhajana pranali instructions on bhajana. In order to free the mind for meditation, the mantras are counted by the thumb of the right hand. With each mantra, the thumb moves from one finger limb to the next. Start with the middle limb of the ring finger, more of its first limb, move to its first limb, and turn clockwise up to the first limb of the index finger. Alternatively, the finger joints can be used for counting in the same sequence. For more specific instructions, ask any initiated Brahmana. Since the mantras are confidential, we are recommended to chant them unobtrusively. That is, we should not allow others to see that we are chanting. Therefore, the hand used for counting the mantras should be covered by a cloth. Yes, okay. So the next part is Upavita, the sacred thread. The sacred thread. Just a moment. I have to do something. So I will continue to read from the book the next time. Jai, His Divine Grace, Bhajana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda. Jai, His Holiness Sachinanda Swami. I have to do something. Just a moment. Идиотско нещо просто. Scheiße. So, the next book is following Place of Sandalwood and Roses. Jai, Śrīmati Govinda Dasi, Jai, His Divine Grace by Jahnava Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda, her spiritual master, her Diksha Guru. So, the last time I was at yes, yes. So Bonnie she finds a book and an address where she can find His Divine Grace by Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda. She quickly buys the magazine, notes the address, and rushes over to 518 Frederick Street. She can't explain what had just happened, not even in her own mind. She only knows it is the most real thing that has ever happened to her, like waking from a dream. There is no going back. Her new life has begun. Frederick Street is nearby. Bonnie quickly arrives at the address and pauses at the door of a small storefront located about 2 blocks from Golden Gate Park. A hand-painted sign reads Radha Krishna Temple. She cautiously opens the door and peers inside. 3 long-haired youths sit on a carpeted floor. One is playing a hand organ, singing softly. The others talk and appear to be reading. A large bushy-bearded fellow comes over to greet her. Hare Krishna, he booms in a loud, friendly voice. I am Howard, or Hayagriva. This is Ravindra. Ravindra looks up from the hand organ and nods. And this is Mukunda. They are warm and welcoming. Timidly, Bonnie stammers. I'm looking for this Swami, waving the magazine. I want to meet him. Yes, booms Hayagriva, obviously in charge. He has class meetings daily, but we can arrange a private meeting for you. For private meeting if you like. Mukunda, when is a good time for the Swami to greet visitors? Mukunda, a slender, bearded fellow with large, sensitive brown eyes and musician's hands, smiles shyly. He's more approachable, Bonnie thinks. Mukunda says, maybe tomorrow around 10 or 11 a.m. Would that be okay? What's your name? Bonnie, and I'd like to bring my partner, Garrett, too, if possible. They agree, and Bonnie rushes home to tell Garrett the exciting news. The Swami, she gasps, out of breath from running. The one on the flyer. He's here, nearby, and we can meet him tomorrow if we want. He's the one, Garrett. He is the one. I already know it. I feel it. Garrett looks up from his guitar, and his dark eyes brighten. It seems that when the clouds are darkest, the sun breaks through. They anxiously plan tomorrow's meeting, thinking if there are many questions and what they will say. Chapter 11. The first meeting. So I will continue with that next time. It's quite late at the moment. So next time I will continue to read from book Jai, A Place of Sandalwood and Roses. Jai His Divine Grace by Channel Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda, Jai Srimati Govinda Dasi, who wrote this book. So today is the appearance day, the disappearance day of Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, and I will give the link. Jai Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. I will give the link with his biography. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Lada Daine. Prahlada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha. Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye. Tondrishimho paratondrishimho. Itondrishimho paratondrishimho. Drishimhamadim saranyam prapade. Drishimhamadim saranyam prapade. Bahir Nishimho Hridaye Nishimho. Bahir Nishimho Hridaye Nishimho. Yatto. Oh, sorry. I didn't have to see the text. It's not in the right way. Okay. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Lada Daine. Prahlada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha. Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye. Itondrishimho paratondrishimho. Itondrishimho paratondrishimho. Yato yato yamitotondrishimho. Yato yato yamitotondrishimho. Bahir Nishimho Hridaye Nishimho. Bahir Nishimho Hridaye Nishimho. Nrishimhamadim Saranyam Prapade. Nrishimhamadim Saranyam Prapade. Tava Karakamalavare Nakama Buddha Shringa. Talita Hiranyakashipu Tanobringa. Keshavadrita Hari Rupa Jajugadisha Hare
Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Shri Shiva Janrishi Jaya Janrishi Hare, Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa, Shri Shiva Janrishi Jaya Janrishi Hare, Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa, Shri Shiva Janrishi Jaya Janrishi Hare, Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa, Shri Shiva Janrishi Jaya Janrishi Hare, Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa. Nrsimha Nrsimhadev Jaya, Nrsimhadev Jaya, Nrsimhadev Jaya, Nrsimhadev Jaya, Prahlad Nishim, Prahlad Nishim, Prahlad Nishimha Jaya, Prahlad Nishimha Jaya, Lakshmi Nrsimha, Lakshmi Nrsimha, Lakshmi Nrsimha Jaya, Lakshmi Nrsimha. Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra, Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Radha Madhavara Radha Gopinatha Radha Gokula Nanda Shri Radha, Radha Madhava Radha Gopinatha Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Shyam, Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe, Radhe 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 Shyam. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jaya Gurudeva, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupāda, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupāda. Thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna. Oh, I didn't say anything on the. Yes, okay. I have to. I forgot to read from the Charitamrita. Just very quickly. Yes, Madhya 890. No, 891 was the last time. 890 was the last time, and now the next one, 891. This is, as you all know, Sri Charitamrita of Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Today is his disappearance day. Jai Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Charitamrita of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Translation and purports from His Divine Grace by Jahnava Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda. Charitamrita Madhya 891. Yanatamam prapadyante Tam startava bacamiham mama virtvano vardante manusya parta sarvasha. Translation. According to Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 4:11, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. Now we see how beautifully it is said that actually um, we all actually follow um, the path of God, the path of Krishna, and as Krishna says, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. This is of course true, but he cannot reward the gopis for their love because their love is out of any um, limit. For example, in verse 7, it is said of Shikshastaka, Yugatani Meshnachkshu Parashaitam, Shunaitam Jagatsarvam, Govinda Virahename, Gaitani Meshnachkshu Parashaitam, Shunaitam Jagatsarvam, Govinda Virahename, Govinda Virahename. When I feel separation from you, O Govinda, Yugaitam Meshna, although even a short period of time seems to be yuga, a millennium, Chakshusha Pravishaitam, tears flow from my eyes like rain from monsoon clouds. Shnaitam Jagat Sarvam. All the universe seems to be empty, void. Govinda Virahename is separation from you, O Govinda. We see what a love is that. One cannot reward this love at all. But of course, in Shashishikshastaka, which is spoken from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the 16th century, in every verse, the love, the crying of a pure devotee in separation from Krishna is described, and at the same time also the Madnakya Mahabhava or Unatojvala Rasa, the highest love in all the worlds, the love of Srimati Radhika to Sri Krishna is described. And this love is the highest love, and Krishna cannot reward it at all. He cannot reward it accordingly. Yes. Okay. So thank you so much for your attention. Well, what does it mean that he cannot award it accordingly? That means that there is no such a love, the love of Srimati Radhika to Shri Krishna, which is the highest love in all the worlds, Madanakya Mahabhava or Unnata Jvala Rasa, This love, only Shrimati Radhika experiences this love, no anybody else, and also not Krishna. In this way, Krishna cannot reward this love accordingly. Of course, Shrimati Radhika, she is the topmost pure devotee because Krishna loves Shrimati Radhika more than everybody else. In this way, Shrimati Radhika is the topmost pure devotee, the highest topmost pure devotee among all the devotees, among all the gopis, and among all other devotees also. Shrimati Radhika is the topmost pure devotee. After her are the gopis of Vrindavan in Vraja Lila. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for your attention.